What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tyler Herrera and I'm your favorite coffee nerd. On last week's video, I showed off my brand new roaster from San Francisco, and as I was editing it, I realized there's a lot of components on here that maybe people don't know what they are or how they function, and especially for beginners, I think it would be good to break down the components of a coffee roaster. So we're just gonna dive right in and we're gonna run through this really quick. It's just meant to be a helpful video so you know your way around a coffee roaster. We're gonna start up top with the hopper. This is where you load your green beans in. You open up a lever, your batch gets dropped into the drum, and your batch has begun. Now the drum is where the magic happens, and in, I guess you could say, nicer roasters, it's usually double walled. The advantage to a double walled drum is that you have more thermal stability, meaning more consistent roasts. Inside the drum, there's usually paddles, so as it circulates, it's kind of knocking these beans around. And the purpose of that is so that these beans can move throughout the drum and hit all the different air pockets and get roasted evenly. There's a few really important components on the outside of the drum. One is a sight glass, that's just where you can see the beans spinning around inside the drum. There's also a trier, which helps you make observations on the beans as they go through their roast cycle. But most importantly is the two probes that sit on the surface of the drum. There's an environmental temperature probe, which just measures the temperature of the air within the drum. And then perhaps most importantly is the bean temperature probe. For those of you that don't know, a probe is just a fancy word for a thermometer. Thermocouple is another word you'll hear. We won't get too far into thermocouples and probes because that's a video in itself, but just know that thermocouples are really the most powerful tool for making accurate observations about your roasting. Now beneath the drum are the burners. That's where your gas runs to, and that's where your flame output is. That's really what powers your roast. Just outside and beneath the drum is the cooling tray. So you drop a batch, the beans fall right into this cooling tray. It's got a circulating arm, and additionally there's a fan that sucks in ambient temperature air through these beans to help cool them down. Now just to the left of the drum, you'll find the control panel. This is where you'll find things like the gas gauge, the knob to control your gas pressure. On some roasters, you'll be able to control the airflow as well as a gauge to measure air pressure. Additionally, you'll see the on-off switch, a timer to time your roasts, the cooling tray on-off switch, and this really big, bright, red, tempting emergency shutoff switch. God forbid you ever have to use that though. Behind that is the shaft Cyclone. The shaft Cyclone does is it collects all the chaff from the coffee, and then you just clean it out periodically after every few roasts. And right on top of that Cyclone sits the exhaust fan. It sucks ambient temperature air through the drum, past those burners, and heats that air up. So hot air is coming into the drum, and then it goes out and exhaust right through where the hopper is, through the back and out the ventilation. Hot air passing over the coffee beans is just one of the ways that coffee gets roasted, and we'll go more in depth on that at a later time, but I just wanted to give you the rundown of the pathway of the airflow as it moves through the drum. The funny thing about roasters is they're really just kind of this circulating oven. It's a really basic machine, and I think it's a skill set and the knowledge that allows you to roast good coffee. And of course there are cheap machines, so to speak, that don't function as well as nicer machines, but ultimately it's just a very simple piece of engineering. And I hope if you're a beginner that was helpful to help you understand how the machine itself works. As always, thank you guys for watching. You can find me on Instagram, Coffee Under Pressure, and my roasting company is Tired Eyes Coffee. Any questions or comments, let me know below. Otherwise, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.